We're going to finish over on BBC iPlayer with a new drama series which arrived as a box set on Monday the 1st of July. It's called A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. And here's a clip.
Always believed that your brother was innocent. So if he didn't, who did?
Guess that's what we need to find out.
There are a million discrepancies about that night. Any one of them could have killed Andie.
What are you girls talking about?
10 nudes.
Max Hastings. He's twisted. Be careful.
You've been stalking me. Such a good girl, Pip.
Yes, so if any of you are fans of Holly Jackson, then this is for you, because this is an adaptation of Holly Jackson's novel series, and it's really quite pacey. It's really quite good. It's an adaptation, so it obviously doesn't stick directly to the original words, which they often don't. But I don't think that matters particularly. I think it's brilliant in its own way. And this stars Emma Myers, who plays the part of Pip Fitz-Amobi, who is a teenager, completely haunted and completely kind of her whole world is taken over by this apparent murder-suicide, which involved two of her schoolmates several years earlier. And it was in this very small rural town of Little Kilton. Now, she is a true crime enthusiast. It will appeal to lots of people who are. We all love to be that sleuth, don't we, that can kind of go out there and, oh yeah, I know better than the police. And this is her. And she just feels that there's something that doesn't smell right in this case. Something is a little bit off. It's a little bit wrong. And her teenage imagination runs wild. And that's why I think this book did so well, because we can all see a little bit of ourselves in it. And if you're a bit obsessed with that kind of thing, thinking all the clues and, you know, what's gone on, what have they missed? And she kind of is absolutely determined to try and find the killer, thinking that the killer could still be about and not captured. And it works really well because she's very, very young looking, you know, she's very innocent, sort of the kind of girl at school who I'd imagine was a bit of a bookworm, you know, very studious, very sharp, very bright, and she's so determined, and I think that's really admirable. It's a really lovely thing to see in her. So there she is trying to, but of course it gets her into loads of trouble, as you'd imagine. It's not an easy path trying to uncover who the real murderer is and getting ourselves into lots of scrapes. There's a romantic side to this of, you know, a bit of love that she finds. So it's got all the kind of ingredients of a great book, which now is on the screen. And so, despite the fact that the police think they've got or think they know the person who did it because they admitted to it before taking their own life, she's convinced that's not all that it seems. And so, yeah, as I say, we see her going on quite epic journeys here, there and everywhere to try and uncover who was at the bottom of this, who did this, and everybody else just wants to forget about it, because obviously in this small town it was something that was dreadful. It was a real blight on their town, and they just want to forget it. They feel like it's done, that the person is now dead, they're not around anymore. It you know, in terms of the killer, I should say. And so, yeah, for me, it really, really worked. I thought she played an absolutely great part. And it's quite creepy and eerie in places too. But I think anyone who likes the book will really enjoy this. What did you think, Ian?
Yeah, I liked it. And there's a Florida connection to this week's pod, because Emma Myers, who plays Pip, she's from Florida, but she is very convincing, playing quite a posh young lady who's grown up in this sort of rural town of Little Kilton. So yeah, she's very wholesome, isn't she? And she seems kind of younger than her years. She's got that innocence. So there's an element of it, of course, the, you know, kids sleuthing reminds you a bit of Enid Blyton, I guess, but it's also more grown up and darker than that. And she's kind of probing into some quite rich kids in the area. There's almost a sort of Bridget Jonesy type scene where she and her friend are waitresses at this very posh party, and they have to dress up in fancy dress, and that's quite well done. It's quite funny. But at the same party, there's quite a disturbing scene where she's quizzing one of the potential suspects, who confusingly is called Max Hastings, but no, he's not the journalist and historian. And the only way he will answer questions about the night of the murder, when he was with the boy who confessed to the killing and then committed suicide, is that she must drink a shot before he will answer a question. So he's kind of getting her drunk in this sort of basement room, and he's throwing darts at a dartboard. So it's, you know, it's got a dark side as well. So yeah, I thought it was good. It's got some good cast in it as well. You've got Anna Maxwell Martin playing her mum, and Gary Beadle playing her dad, and Matthew Bainton, yes, from Horrible Histories and Ghosts, as a teacher.